held its Martin City Council assessment meeting, Board of Equalization order. The roll call, Gloria?
Yep.
Greg's absent, Lindsay's absent, Tootie?
Here.
Warren?
Here.
And Jay?
Here.
Others present, Zach, Jeff, Paul, Jeff, and Nancy, and
Leslie.
Leslie, sorry. Bob, Johnny, Joyce, Judd, Molly, and Barb. Thank you. Okay. First on the agenda is Board Equalization Appeals, and we have one appeal from Barb. So would you like to address, or Barb, or?
She can go first.
Okay, Barb.
On Saturday, February 10th, around 2:07 a.m., DUI driver crashed to the southeast corner of my property at 107 Fifth Avenue. The car spun completely around, hit the back door, and ended up in the garden. It's a lunch from home, which is on the historical. I mean, I don't have that historical. Just for people that don't know, it's made with prefab steel, and it's got like porcelain siding to it. And right now, the house is not secure. Don't tell anybody good things. And no one can live in there. In order to get in and out, I have to take the screw gun and get in there, but we haven't used it at all. So I'm hoping that maybe some of the taxes for next year can be forgiven somehow. I don't know how long it's going to be unlivable. Everything has been really slow trying to get anything. And I finally found out she had insurance a week and a half ago. It was over a month before I could find out if she even had insurance to see if I could get it covered. But that's what I'm asking for, I guess.
Have you talked to Shirley Clausen? They had some spare parts when they built that garage on the west side. It used to be a house.
Yeah, but what happened is when that car crashed through, there was some metal beams, the metal all pushed through. In order to even get it secure, he had to cut them off there and cut them off there. Yep. And that house, if no one's familiar, it's built from the bottom up, right?
Yep.
Kind of like a puzzle, you have to start in this corner.
Yep.
So,
And I mean, so it's not easy just to get parts, but I mean, we need to probably get it repaired, but it's gonna take a while.
Jeff, do you want to comment?
Yes. So I went and looked at the property. Both entry doors, as she said, were destroyed, which makes the house completely unlivable right now. One wall was partially destroyed. There could be foundation damage on the addition. And do you believe there's foundation damage on the main structure too?
We can't tell because it was at night when he was trying to fix it, and he's got it, so we can't see, but like he said, you can see where it's pushed in for the foundation.
The house is repairable, in my opinion.
Is what?
Repairable, but it's not likely you're going to find the pieces of another restaurant home to just put in. There are 3 of them in this county that we know of. One of them is a garage now. They are collector's items. I mean, people love them. There's like a cult following in those houses.
Yes.
Barb's was built, I believe, in about 1959, according to our records. The systems appear to be working. The HVAC, the water, and the electricity. They're all, as far as you know, they're working.
Yeah, the electric is gonna have to be repaired too.
Okay.
I mean, just that, yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, our legal assessment date is November 1st. So then the taxes that are payable in 2025, she used that structure for 101 days. So there's several ways that you guys could take to fix the problem. And I agree with her completely in her appeal. It's not livable. She may be able to get it fixed before the next November 1st assessment date. It's just according to how easy it is to get the parts. But anyway, so you can take no action tonight as a board. And we would give Barb we would give Barb instructions, not telling her what to do. And next year, after she has her tax bill, she can file for abatement and only pay taxes for those 101 days, sorry, 28%. Now, if she would get it fixed up, get back in August, then she would also, whatever date that was, until October 31st, taxes on that too. That's why the abatement is our most accurate method to handle this. An abatement is just the process of going through where the taxes that she was supposed to pay, because we taxed it based on what it was on November 1st. So then, since it was unlivable, she asked us to abate the taxes for the time frame that it wasn't feasible, but it wasn't livable. That's the most accurate way to handle this problem. You could also lower her assessment by 72%. The house right now is assessed at $44,189. And we could take away 72% of that as far as the taxable value. But then, if she did get it fixed before the end of the tax year, then we would have to find a way to add that value back in. Gene, have you guys ever done an added tax? Ever? So that might be a more complicated way to do it. The other way is you could completely zero it out to nothing. But she did use it for 101 days. So all of the options have pros and cons. As far as the assessor's office, I talked to Renee, who couldn't be here tonight, but we both pretty much agree that the abatement method is probably the most accurate way. And basically, Barb's not going to have to pay taxes for the time this year that it's not usable. So,
What do you think, Barb? Well, yeah, I mean, because if I can get it fixed, I'm gonna pay taxes on it. So, yeah, if the abatement's the easiest thing, then yes, that's, I'm trying, but to try to get anything done is.
I'm sure those people that are looking over all these historical properties are probably bugging you also.
No, they don't know about it unless somebody's, I haven't told anybody. Unless Jay. No, because when they originally found out when we bought that, we took a lot of bad words from their mouths because we were changing the kitchen, updating it.
Yeah.
Replacing those metal cupboards and putting wood,
Yeah.
So no.
And the fireplace was already moved when you guys got it, wasn't it? Yeah,
Did
that was Dirk's.
Was it Dirk's or Dylan?
It was a long time ago.
So the abate, no action.
abatement would just mean you would take no action
I think we ought to have a motion that way then.
Yeah, if they're happy with that, I think that's the easiest. It sounds good, I guess. So I would make a motion that we take no action this time.
Motion by Jake, second by Warren. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
So then she would do something when she gets next year's taxes.
The taxes that will be payable in 2025, which is where the assessor's office is working right now. Once she had that, then she could come to the courthouse and we'd have to fill out the papers.
Okay,
It's a little bit of a process.
So,
but she wouldn't have to do this again?
Nope.
Okay,
so does she get, is it prorated like the 101 days out of the year she paid?
If it's not fixed by the November 1st, when she asks for an abatement, we would go ahead and figure the taxes on the 101 days
Okay,
that it was used.
okay. So everybody's in favor of that motion and those opposed?
so we don't need a motion. Do we need a motion to take no action?
Whatever you guys are comfortable
Let's
with.
do a motion to take no action.
Take no action?
Warren seconded.
Yeah. Well, we certified the tax assessment, so I'm gonna call this meeting.
Well,
Huh?
we need
We need what?
to certify the big book.
That was the appeals.
Yeah, that was
I-
the deal.
I have one more thing to say when it's time for that, but not about the appeal, just as
Okay,
part of the meeting.
okay. So I need a motion on the big book
To
now.
certify the tax assessment they give us for the year. Yeah.
I need a motion to certify the taxes in the big book. Right?
You has a copy of that.
Yeah. It's a thing we always look at and see who owns the property. Or is it? It's in my house. Do you guys want to look at it?
Not now.
I'll
It's
get it.
one of the most boring
It's bedtime.
reading you'll ever read.
Exactly.
I make a motion to certify it.
Is there a second to Gloria's motion to certify the big book? Second by Judy. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Motion carried. Now,
You wanted to say something, right?
Yep, just briefly. So a year ago, we were here, we had increased based on, we do a sales ratio study every year. It showed that we needed to raise assessments by 31% to be at the market. So this year, when we did the sales ratio study, it showed that we were a little bit high. And so we reduced everything but ag land and Benton County by 10% on their assessed value.
thank you.
Is it true? I don't know. I just seen something out there. I think it was posted on Facebook that Bannock County was the highest assessed for state. What? Yeah, I mean, there's something out there. So we were the highest in the state
Compared to what?
compared to the state.
I wouldn't know. We don't compile that information. Maybe somebody does. Maybe the Department of Revenue does.
I think it was the tax rate. The county tax rate was the highest in the state.
On
The post, I seen a post.
you've probably seen the same one.
Yeah, and it was
Talking about
something
Benton
about the Benton County tax rate was the highest for property.
Yeah.
But we did do the 10% decrease for this year.
We should get 20%.
Pardon me?
We should get 20%.
We,
Make up last year.
we make those adjustments based on the sales ratio study. And there are guidelines with the state on what we have to do in certain ranges. Last year, we had to do the 31.
Nothing further to come before the Board of Assessed Equalization? If not, I'm going to adjourn this meeting. And,
Do I have to make a motion for adjournment? Or just,
okay,
I make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
okay. Is there a second to Jay's motion?
I'll second it.
Second by Tootie. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, same sign. We are adjourned. Now,
And you're done, Caleb, if you so wish to.
now,
Everybody looks pleased.
I'll come back.
I'm going to call the Martin City Council meeting to order. You guys will look at your agendas and approve them or discuss them. I need a motion to approve this agenda.
I'll make that motion with flexibility.
With flexibility by Tootie, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Gloria. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next on the agenda is public comment. Do you have any comments? If not yet, I'll move on.
Question? There is an agenda item that I might want to say something on. I'm assuming you want me to wait until the agenda item. Is the board? Yes, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Next on the agenda is our bills. We have 3 bills today. Yeah.
As part of that grant, we don't have one.
Yes. Okay, airport.
Airport fence. Is airport fence done then, Paul?
So the cameras are up at the golf buildings now?
Yeah, they have.
Okay.
Yeah, they've been up since like November.
Oh,
For some reason, he emailed me this bill and it got put to my spam or something. So I just got it again this week and I was like, whoops. So
Anybody wanna pay the bills? I need a motion.
I motion to pay the bill.
Second.
Motion by Warren, second by Jay to pay the bills. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, same sign. I'll sign the bills. Food trucks. We have a
Just a draft.
preliminary draft of an ordinance to adopt regulations concerning mobile food bins.
And I can tell you that we need to adopt an ordinance before we can have an application. Because the ordinance has to
Need in place.
be in place. That's how you enforce the application, is by having this ordinance.
We didn't have an ordinance?
Food
No, on
trucks.
food trucks. So what you guys have is a rough draft. If you want to change something or add something, it's up to you guys.
This has been sent to the lawyer.
Yes. Do you guys have any?
Well, number 7 says, a mobile food vending establishment cannot be permanently located on any property, cannot function as a permanent structure. So, what does that mean? Does that mean that we're gonna have to go set up somewhere else every day then?
And it does look like, from what I can tell, it looks like you took this from Rapid City.
Yeah.
Ordinance number 626250.
Yeah. I don't know. I would say permanent structure is that you can't move it.
No, if I take the wheels off, so it can't be moved.
Yeah.
Well, then it becomes a permanent
Yeah.
structure and you can't have it,
It's got
right?
wheels on it, if I keep the wheels on it, then it's portable, right?
Yeah,
Right.
it's portable with the wheels, we can move it, I mean, I can move it back and forth.
Bob,
Mr. Mayor, I haven't had a chance to really read this ordinance that's going around. Is there a clear section in there that states current existing operational businesses are grandfathered in of this weekend?
No, it doesn't say anything like that.
You want a copy of this?
Could I read it, please?
I can do that.
I think we ought to put this back on our regular meeting, so we have time to study it. Unless you guys just want to go for it.
Well, I wouldn't approve it tonight. It's just a draft.
I
That's
know.
why I gave it to you,
Yeah.
so you guys could look at it and discuss it.
I don't think we should limit the number of food truck permits by the city.
Number 10?
Yep.
Yep.
And no tobacco. Oh, that should stay on there.
Absolutely. Well, it's
Tobacco
illegal,
or booze.
Yeah.
so, in South Dakota, it's illegal.
Marijuana.
So basically, this is just on there because you were giving us this to look at. We don't have to do anything else.
And you can discuss it, yeah, yeah. So, yeah.
What's your take on 7?
I mean, I'm just seeing this.
Oh, I would say 7 is probably one of those, if you built a permanent structure around your food truck and it can't be moved anymore.
Yeah, but an actual like, a trailer like in their scenario, I think would be okay.
Yeah, I think that would be fine.
The 7 of disabilities.
No, 7 is the food truck, and the disabilities, the way that we have dealt with that is, quite honestly, if we have someone who can't get out, we just take the food to them.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, in Rapid, there's a lot more people, and it's a lot bigger situation. We know our customers, and they usually just call and we run it out to them.
I would see if you guys can help us with number 7 on wording.
Because I don't like the wording.
A mobile food vending establishment and permanent
It says a permanent
building
location.
or something, you know?
Well, but it says in a permanent location, and that's what concerns me, because
Yeah,
we're kind of permanent.
And if you look it up on the state, where you can get your license from on the state, there's like 2 different things you can go with, and it says, like, as far as that, there's 2 different things.
You might someday go somewhere. Go through.
Right.
Yeah.
So like we have, because we've been asked to do, like when they had fairs here in town. and
So you're not permanent. You can,
We're not permanent,
Yeah.
but we are pretty much, everybody knows we're there Monday through Saturday.
And
Well,
a lot
not
of,
right now.
a lot of that has to do with, first of all, the cost come in and it's about $1,000 to have them install a 50-amp service so we can plug it up.
And I have some brain, and that's not it, but it is part of the apartment, but we're not on the generator constantly.
And I think it probably has to do with the wastewater to the, for non-permanent, is like if the wastewater is always constantly being dumped in a way that wouldn't be good for the city. I think that's probably a lot too.
And
And I've addressed that with
Meredith,
Meredith.
because it can be done in a tow way.
So I raised with the health department, one of those portable towaway containers that you would use for like an RV and so forth with wheels. So that we
And then we can put it
as
into the
long
system.
as we dump it someplace into the city sewer system. That was one thing.
Motion to table the food truck ordinance until the next meeting.
Motion by Jay to table the food truck ordinance until next meeting.
Second.
Second by Warren. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next on the agenda is garbage resolution. Resolution number 2024-5, be resolved by the city of Martin that the following rates be adopted for use by the city of Martin in its operation. Garbage fees for household trash. Household trash will be defined as trash that can be picked up and placed in a trash compacting truck. Single family residence, $22. Multiple family, first unit, 22. Second unit, 22. Apartments per unit, $22. Commercial rate, $42 per cubic yard. Commercial rate, 95-gallon tote, $22. And garbage per unit, $2.22. These fees will become effective April 1st, 2024, day of receipt, day of March 2024. Questions, comments, council, or vote to approve it?
Don't you have to do it twice?
It's a resolution.
I make a motion to approve it.
Motion by Gloria to approve this resolution. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Tootie. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, same sign. I'll sign it. Is this only against me to sign? Next on the agenda is our sewer resolution. Resolution 22-24-4. Be resolved by the city of Martin that the following rates and fees be adopted for use by the city of Martin in its operation of its wastewater system. The tap-in fee, $300 plus cost of materials. Sewer rates for city residents is $19.09. Revenue bond surcharge, $4.29 for a total of $23.38. City commercial, same as city residents for 2,000 gallons of water. Over 2,000 gallons of water, there will be an additional $1 per 1,000 gallons. Includes outside city limits commercial. Outside city limits, $24.09. Revenue bond surcharge, $4.29 for a total cost of $28.38. Dated this 13th day of March 2024.
And I will tell you guys, I looked up what the state rate is, which is the rate you have to be at if you want to get money from the state. The water was $45 for 5,000 gallons, and the sewer was $45. So we're considerably under the state rate. So we can't use money unless we wanted to get some money, like from a loan or a thing, we'd have to. Just telling you guys.
Would have to go up by
A lot. So,
How much is this being raised?
Oh, 18th day of March, sorry.
How much is this being raised?
the sewer,
Yeah.
$1. Just mark, put the 18.
Okay,
So is the revenue bond surcharge, has that always been the same? It's just the,
That's the revenue, that was put into place when we redid the lagoons.
right, but that's always been the same.
Yeah,
So what's,
they
what's
decide that.
increasing is the,
Mhm.
from 1809 to 1909? Thank you.
And does that include all grants from the state, or is that just water related
Both.
grants?
So if you're getting a sewer project done or a water project done, then they would look at your rates at that time and see if you could repay the loan, because if you can't repay the loan, they're not gonna give it to you. That's why they have a step rate out there.
Council, do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Judy. Any discussion? No discussion, I need a second.
I'll second it.
Second by Gloria. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, same sign. I'll sign this one. Okay, next on the agenda is traffic control device.
So that radar sign is $3,594.99. The universal mounting bracket for it is $125, and the shipping is $220. So it's just shy of $4,000 for one of those radar signs.
How much was the bracket?
$125.
This is from the same outfit that sent the last one?
Yep.
3 or 4 times?
Hmm?
Sent it 3 or 4 times?
Yeah, the first one was banned. Not the actual sign was banned.
Council?
So is there any chance of getting apply for the grant?
We could apply for it. I doubt we get it, but we can sure apply for
But
it.
we have to make a motion that we'll.
Well, you have to have proof that you're gonna buy this sign.
When you applied for that grant, what were, the questions on it? What is the goal of the grant?
Where are you positioning it at? What's it doing? Like where I put it was for the traffic coming into town by the grocery stores and the dollar stores.
School.
Yeah. There's not a lot of questions. I mean, it's pretty generic.
The grant comes from the
State,
Well, it's the South Dakota Street Maintenance Association.
yeah, from the municipal league.
So it's not really the state, it's that association.
Did we want 2 of them? I mean, when we originally discussed this.
One for south and one for east.
Yeah,
What about the one to the north?
I
that's
think we
what
were
I,
just talking about,
The
normal.
two highways, but the committee that I sit on, at the sidewalk committee, we would like them on all 4 directions.
Be nice.
It would be, because the traffic is just as bad coming off of First Avenue heading into the stoplight, because if you notice, they come downhill.
Way down, slow down pretty good.
Doesn't hurt to have a reminder flashing at them.
Downhill, where did you say again?
Well, basically, from here down to the traffic light, we're higher than the
Oh.
traffic light. Basically, the school crossing, there should be an amber light right over here on Main Street for our pedestrians. I mean, I would say this, I would recommend going for the 2 on the highways, and then the 3rd one, follow up at a later time for this street out here, just to get the grant moving, but it's really up to the council. But in our committees, that's one of the goals of our committee, is to slow down the traffic. And these are great for slowing them down.
Where would the money come from, Dean?
Where does it always come from? How many
I
budget?
mean, if you guys can get it, I don't see why we can't apply for it through the TA funds on a future grant. It's something that we will be discussing tomorrow at our meeting.
The only thing with this grant is we have to buy it and have it.
Why not just do one this
Yeah.
year, and then next year do another one? I mean, we did that one, that was 2 years ago, and we did fine with just one of them. We didn't make 3 of them.
I'm all,
Budget wise,
Yeah.
one would be better than none.
I agree. I think it's a step in the right direction, put it that way.
But the question is which way the one to the east or the one south? I guess. Flip a coin.
Well, I think you should defer that to our police department. Where are we getting most of our speeding tickets? On Highway 73 or on East Highway 18?
Oh, on East Highway 18.
That's where it needs to be then.
I make a motion to buy one traffic control device.
Second.
Motion by Gloria, second by Jay. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, same sign. We will get one ordered.
So
Okay.
while we're on that, I got one question before I call Doug Sherman. It was mentioned that they wanted a 35-mile-per-hour sign going over the hospital hill. So where would you put that? Because literally before city limits, like 15 yards, it says 45 miles per hour
And then there's 35 at Hudson Park.
coming in.
Yeah,
Right down at the,
Yeah, but going out, I mean, where would you want a 35 going out where you're that close to a 45? The city limits is right at the edge of that park, so literally that's like 20 yards from that 45 mile per hour.
Wouldn't it be on this side of the hill probably, where you want
Right
to?
outside the fire department.
But is it first 25, you guys said?
The
First half's 25.
So First Avenue from the stoplight north is 20, and then on the other side of the stoplight going south on 73, it's 35.
Yeah, they're picking
I'm
up speed as
confused.
they go up the hill.
Because I thought it was 25, I thought you guys made the motion.
We did, it's 25. First half should be 25. Right now, it's not posted 25, but about a year ago or more, we went through the speed limit on First Avenue, what it's supposed to be, and it was 25 that was decided. It just, it's never been posted right, and that was the purpose of the April meeting.
20 by the bowling alley coming south.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's just,
And then there's no sign.
yeah, so the signs that are just all need to be updated first. To 25. And that's one of the things that we wanted to talk about at the April meeting, is all new signage to have it right on First Ave at 25.
But it's 35 when you turn at the fire hall and go south?
Yeah,
we need a sign, the state needs to put one right by the,
because we just have no sign once you turn at the bar, at the intersection, until you start leaving town and it says 45,
Yeah.
basically, right?
Yeah, there's not one.
And it should be,
25.
no, because that's a state highway.
So what does it have to be?
It's supposed to be.
you really gotta step on the gas from the stoplight to get to the top.
Well, I mean, that's what I, exactly.
What does their police department recommend?
I still recommend that would be in 35.
But
Would that be the city? So you're saying that if we wanted it to be by the fire hall, the city would be responsible for it?
Either way, the city would be responsible for it, the state isn't gonna put it up.
okay, so here's the question. First is 25. Why would it not be 25 and then after you go over the hill, 45?
Yeah.
Is that too much of a speed change, or, yeah?
What has DOT set those speed limits to be, both east and west on 18 and south on 73?
I had to go to the state and meet with DOT when we wanted 45 south of town. And it took a day trying to convince them, and the only reason we got it was because there's more houses out there and homes and people walking. And so then they let it, because it was 65.
And my thinking is if we get the sidewalks along there and we get the traffic to the hospital, all of that, it probably wouldn't hurt to just have 25 if they start leaving town.
Up the hill.
Up the hill, for sure.
So it should, but.
Yeah,
So you don't need a 35 mile an hour sign.
No, but we should have 25 there, just to remind people, hey, stay slow until you get over the hill. It's 25.
then where is it, how about coming into town?
It's 35
35 to
coming
the
from
right.
the south.
35 until the light, and then from the light, when it's
There's your,
That's the problem too. That should be 25. Once they're at the crest of the hill, they should be coasting in at 25. Because I see them taking that curve and they head out east, and you would not believe how fast I've seen some of these trucks go through that intersection. And then they have to hit the pedal to get up the hill to head east. By the time they're at the fairgrounds, they're going 45.
25 by the Hobson Park then? Is that what-
It's 35 coming in.
So yeah, we'd have to change that to 25 at the top of the hill, if we could. 25 top of the hill, coming out from the stoplight, 25 until after the hill, 45. But we'd have to talk to the state about that. And
You just have to get a permit to acquire their right of way. I mean, they would do that as long as we were providing them,
the signage
and the hardware and everything.
and hardware.
If there's nothing else on that, I'd move on to the lot by the park. We have been approached by a landowner that would like to swap half of the lot for part of his, but we've been down there looking at this, and if we could take that whole garden area and make it a parking lot, that would get the people that park on the road when there's some function, making it a single lane road, we could get them to park up there. Then we'd be well ahead, especially when they have reunions or get-togethers or whatever.
And just safety, when people are down there and park in that area, it gets congested to one lane. So
Yeah.
it just doesn't work. The other thing, it does connect to the high school parking lot very well, and during football games and when school's out, it makes a big congestion up there on Main Street or here. And if I did talk to a school board member, and they were going to discuss it a little bit at their next meeting, but about the possibility of opening it up so that they could have some access to that parking lot as well. I think it would serve everybody really well to have that open. I didn't know if it would be a possibility as part of our park concept design thing, if there could be a portion of it maybe even for a covered area for like farmers markets or maybe an area to put food trucks or something. I don't know, but it has options.
We got a lot of dirt on the golf driving range we gotta get rid of, and there's some huge rocks in there. And we could fill that ditch and make it drivable curve along there, so there'd be easy access off the road, so you wouldn't drive down through the ditch to get there. Level it up a little bit like that, and gravel it, or they're gonna tear up Highway 18, maybe we get some chips and go that way until we could think about getting it paved or whatever you wanna do.
Less maintenance by the city because it would be
Right.
gravel versus mowing.
Mowing it all the time.
And we kind of need to know something on this because Paul has the material to fill that in now, close by. So,
As it comes,
Not gonna trade land with the landowner that's right nearby, but try and work with the school to open it up and just keep that as a big part.
right, it would work better actually because because of like after taking another look at it.
Yeah.
And that's,
I motion to turn it into the parking area by the park.
second.
motion by Warren, second by Jay, to turn the lot by the park into a parking lot,
That would be the north,
south side of the east-west.
yeah, that'd be the north half of that lot.
No, it'd be the whole lot.
Oh, that'd be the long lot, but yeah. Okay.
All those in favor of that motion signify by saying aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. There you go, Paul.
The traffic control devices, I don't know that we got clarity on that, I guess. Did we back up to that item for a second or no?
I thought we ordered one.
Oh, we did on
The
that, yeah.
motion was to order one.
Do we want to put that on the next meeting? I mean, do we decide on the speed limits going south of town? And we're just gonna talk about that next meeting probably.
Paul is gonna get prices for signs and posts and everything.
So should we add to that a 25 going out and a 25 coming in at the hill, basically, before the hill and top of the hill?
Okay,
More 25s.
next on the agenda is we had some supposed conflict of interest with our attorney representing a gentleman. And our attorney sent us a memorandum saying that there's really no conflict of interest. Any comments?
I guess so. I talked to Sarah earlier today. I called her. First time in my 3 years that I actually was able to get a phone call here. She kind of explained to me why it was not a conflict of interest. I just kind of explained to her, I kind of understood that a little bit, but it doesn't really pass the sniff test, and she agreed with that, that it's just something that's not right with it. Where part of the incident did happen, there's potential conflict there that could be, but it's not in the legal terms. It's not. It doesn't look right to some extent. So I've had some of the people in the public reach out and just say that it didn't look good for the city because it makes the city look like they're taking sides almost. I don't think it's really great for the city. So one of the solutions I talked about with her was, especially since we're going to be in negotiations with renewing contract and that sort of thing with one of the establishments that we're having, that if we felt that it was I shouldn't use conflict, but if we felt that it would be better, we could hire a different attorney to help consult us through that contract. So that's kind of where I would recommend that we do. And since we're going to be talking about that in our next meeting, I've had some time to think about it, and that's what I would think would be best, is we just for now use a different attorney to help us with the contract at Marcota. What do you guys think? Do you guys think it's a conflict? Does anybody think it's good that our attorney is getting involved there?
No.
By show of hands. Anybody here?
I guess I'm gonna ask you a question. What do you mean by the sniff test? Can you elaborate on that?
So yeah, definitely. It's one of those things that where an attorney is getting involved in a situation that they have information on both sides of the case. Mm-hmm. And then it just doesn't look good. And the reason let's see. I guess it was said last week.
I mean, from the public perception, it doesn't look good from that perspective. Where you have a city, municipality, you know, school district, and you know, you share the same conference rooms, for instance. You know, there's a lot of commingling of resources, so to speak, and staff. People know each other. Some people work in the school district too. She works at the school district, and she's also on the city council, for instance.
And all I've heard is gossip. I don't know, you know, you can't believe what you hear. Martin is famous for gossip. I don't really believe something unless I'm told by a really reliable source. So I consider it gossip until I hear something reliable.
I might interject. Two things that people feel really strongly about is their family, that would include their child's education, and their community. I believe that for some people, it might seem difficult for someone to believe that somebody has their interest at heart in both cases, if those two situations oppose each other. That might be one reason for backlash.
That's well put, yeah.
Can I add some?
Yes.
So you were very gracious than what you said. I agree with what Jay said, but I would go a step farther. Now, I think that attorney, Sarah Frankenstein, is a brilliant attorney. I think she's good, okay? But, her choosing, she has the ability to make a choice here, and her choosing to put herself in a situation to where she's representing Frederick, it really shows that she doesn't understand the community. She doesn't understand the division that this whole thing has caused. I mean, you got family against family, friends against friends. You could have co-workers against co-workers in this. And if she is representative of the city of Martin, and you've got tax dollars that are coming into the city of Martin, and then she chooses to interject herself and her law firm into the issue with Frederick, then are your taxpayers in the city of Martin going to appreciate their tax dollars going to pay her salary for what she does here? And I think it was immensely poor judgment on her part to take that crime. And if she has poor judgment, legally it might not meet this rule, but if she has that kind of poor judgment, then at some point you're going to be faced with that in here. It's just bad. It's just bad.
I think clearly so at first too, when I heard this, I had mentioned it. Some people, this possibility, I've heard this on the street, can it be true? And I just like do that kind of with a grain of salt. It can't be true. And then I heard it, and the reaction of those people was, oh, that can't be true. She would never do that. There's no way she would do something like that. And then I find out from a reliable source, 100% true. And people were just not accepting to it. So, general public. I guess for the city, trying to look out for the city, it would be best if we distance ourselves at least minimal on the contract that we do with the establishment where the incident took place. It just kind of keeps that separation and something from just kind of not seeming right. That would be a step.
Mr. Mayor, Council, a few observations. First thing I noticed, most importantly, the accused is not here present. I think this matter on that point alone, he's tabled with an invitation to Ms. Frankenstein, please attend the next meeting. It's not uncommon.
I just want to say the problem with that is our next meeting is scheduled to do something with the contract for the establishment. So we just want to take and, there's timely action needs to be taken timely on this. And I did speak to her about it already, and that was one of her recommendations was that we did hire a different attorney for that.
To the gentleman's comment, that's very simple to deal with, typically within a law firm's professional conduct rules, which are enforceable both at the state and federal level. There is a screening process in place that directly addresses your comment. If there is a feel or a sense of a conflict in this particular issue with the contract coming up to Marcova, she can set aside and throw another attorney in the mix, who is not Ms. Frankenstein. I suspect there are multiple attorneys in that law firm. If not in Rapid, have one come out of Sioux Falls so it's further distance.
To an extent, she could have done the same thing for the client that she took on if she felt that was important.
If she felt that there was a conflict, she's bound by the rules that are in that letter.
No, she's not. That's a choice. Every lawyer has a choice as to who they represent. And she made that choice.
Reclaiming my time. One may take and violate said rules and give up one license anytime. Anytime they want to give up their license, they can do something as good as that. I hear appearance. I would like each member of the council to describe to me what does a bank robber look like? What is the appearance of a bank robber? What is the appearance of a drug dealer? Which of us are drug runners? I can't say with any degree of certainty. Any one of us is or is not a drug dealer. You're chasing vagueness. I'm not going to go to this point. There is an appearance. There is an appearance that one of us could be a drug kingpin. Think carefully before you accuse someone of not done it.
I accuse her of nothing. What am I accusing her of?
The reason she looked at it, because she's a professional.
Well, let me address something here, okay? For those who don't know, I've got a master's degree in criminal justice. So I spent the past 7 years teaching as a professor at Sheridan College. I'm a retired law enforcement officer, so I know legal language. So what she has done is she has said that she does not have a conflict of interest, and she's limited the Patrick Frederick event to an employment-related issue. It will expand from there. But number one, under Rule 17A1, the representation of one client will be directly adverse to another client. Okay, so you're one client, and then you have Patrick Frederick. I think we all can agree on adverse. We know what adverse is. So when we look at a statute, now we have to look at directly. Representation of one client will be directly adverse. All right? So it doesn't say legally adverse. It doesn't say morally adverse. It doesn't say ethically adverse. It says directly. So where do we find the definition of that? If it's not defined in statute, you go to Black's Law Dictionary or another legal dictionary in reference to it. And in that it says immediate. Was there an immediate adverse reaction to this? Now, obviously there was, because we're sitting here discussing it. And this is where I came to the conclusion when I looked at this rule, this code, I came to the conclusion that it was extremely poor judgment.
So did she not take any recommendation to not take that? Like, 'cause being the city's attorney and stuff like that, is the city council able to say like, hey, this would reflect badly on us? Could you consider doing that? Is that what? Because this looks like
She's already taken, yeah.
So if this is an email back, then she denied the request to not do that?
We did do a request for the city, I guess.
Would that be maybe a better thing to do? Request either reconsidering her agreement?
Then we're picking who her clients are?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, or her recommendation for her replacement for the potential conflict of interest.
Well, as it stands right now, unless a lawsuit does develop, then it would be. But otherwise, we own the building, it's leased out, and we have really no control of the inside operating procedures out there,
Other than the contract that we have.
other than the contract we have.
And she's directly advising us on that contract.
Right.
That's the issue. And she's kind of already decided she's took a side in what's happened there. So, well, she hasn't because it's just unemployment. But it appears that she has.
No, she has. She's gonna argue that it didn't happen. That's what Mr. Frederick says, it didn't happen. The Ireland family, the victim in it, is gonna argue that it did. So from the witness lists of what's happening, all the witnesses on her side that are being called include the lady that you have a contract with. It also includes all of the individuals who spoke poorly about the victim. Comes straight out of the report that was provided to both sides that was done by the school board's attorney.
It's just.
It's going to get very ugly on Thursday, because I've read everything. I've seen the entire file. It is going to get very bad.
It's a big mess, and our attorney's dragging us into it. To an extent, is what it feels like. So,
Well, if the contract comes up, you hire another attorney. We have several in town.
We have to do that next month.
So-
Next meeting.
next meeting, so the thing to do would be to pick.
You have an attorney that just has moved here that is an expert in contract law. That's what he does. And that's
So
what he
I will
does.
make a motion that we hire that local attorney.
No,
Whoa,
because he's involved in it too.
right.
Oh,
Yeah, he is on the other side, but once it's done and over with.
Now we're still talking conflict of interest.
okay, so.
No, but,
Yes,
but
you are, because he's involved.
I'm not
If he's
talking
involved-
about,
He's involved.
I'm not talking about for that contract. I'm talking about if you want to pursue new legal, I'm not talking about this specific Barcota contract. I'm talking about if you want to pursue new attorney after everything is done and over, and this thing is done, okay, with the school system and the Irelands, you can look at that because he's an expert in contract law.
He is a contract, but he's not he doesn't know anything about municipal law.
All right, so
And he said that. He doesn't know anything about
Gee.
municipal law.
let council handle it a little bit. You shouldn't be interjected.
Right.
We can have that discussion later. But I guess my point is I think it's best for the city to have a different lawyer that's not involved in any of this to just help us with this contract out at that establishment for this time being, just this one deal. And so, does council think that would be okay to do, I guess?
I agree.
Okay. It's just a one-time deal, and that's something I talked about too.
Just, you guys, how, just put like an ad out for it, or how?
Well, the other one that I would recommend that's outside this attorney, or this community, but it's local as we can get, is Stephanie Trask of Bad River Law in Phillips, South Dakota. I don't know if she would take it, but I think that's who we would want to ask. She handles many small municipal communities. She's also one that put in a bid with us, along with the local guy. So she was right in that pool. So that's who I would, I guess, recommend that we reach out to, just to help us from now to with that contract to the next meeting, just to keep some separation.
Is that a motion?
I will make that a motion. But, yeah, I'll make that motion.
Motion by Jay is to hire Stephanie Trask out of Phillips to handle the new contract renewal with Souls Restaurant. All those in favor, signify.
I'll second.
When she put in the bid or whatever for the city attorney spot, I mean, did she state rates or anything?
There were rates in
That,
there.
do you remember what they were? I mean, if
She
she's just
wasn't
doing
the,
this.
she was right in the middle as far as cost goes. The lowest cost was the local. She was the second. Sarah was the highest.
Any further discussion on this?
Dealing with the contract only.
With contract
All
only.
contract only.
Yes. This contract outsold, separate, have separation.
Any further comment? If not, all those in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. That is all on the agenda for this evening. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make make that one.
Motion by Cody. Adjourn, is there a second?